Hey, everybody. Welcome to this week's Star Report. As I clear the recording button at the top right, it is January 31st, 2024. And I'm Jason, and I'm here at New Dimensions, Crystals and Reiki, back in the shop. In case you noticed, last week I was in my truck. Thought I was going to be gone another day, but I made it back early. So here I am with the purple screen in the back. That is an amethyst, in case you're wondering. Let's get right into it. The sun. Oh, the sun. The sun is pretty calm right now. And so we have currently a CME, coronal mass ejection. That's when a solar sunspot creates a solar flare and it leaves the sun and comes towards us. They call it coronal mass ejection. So when those CMEs come towards us, they can be big or small. This is a really minor one, and it is not hitting us direct on. It's going to sort of glance us because it kind of went uh, away from the earth as it was erupting for the most part. And so, since it's going to be a glancing blow, it's probably going to happen this evening. When CMEs happen, we get a little bit of triggering of cognitive disorders, right? So, if you're on borderline personality, if you got anxiety, depression, right, the hit of the energy from the sun can sort of trigger some stuff like that. A lot of times, what it's usually going to trigger is anxiety, and that moves us into the cardiac issues that sort of happen with solar weather. And so CMEs, when they hit, and this is going to be minor one, it's just a little bit of heart palpitation, right? So not in the center of the chest, but a little bit higher where people sometimes feel anxiety attacks. Um, that's going to sort of happen. So sort of monitor, I think it should be this afternoon into this evening. Monitor if you feel a little wonky, that's probably why. Other than that, there's a low sunspot total, so lower likelihood of more of those, but the sun can do what it wants, like it does all the time. There's no big coronal holes coming through, so coronal holes are usually going to be that pressure. And so with the energy going down, sometimes that cumulative energy of not solar, extrasolar energy coming at us will make you feel sluggish or tired or low energy, low motivation. So pay attention for that if the weather doesn't pick up, if the sun doesn't become more active, that you'll just sort of feel sluggish. The rest of the stars are really sort of encouraging you to not be sluggish. So you might not notice that at all. And by all means, don't let me program your mind into being sluggish and saying, "Oh, it's the stars." Work your body, work your program, work your plan. There are currently no retrogrades. That's enough with the sun. There's no retrogrades, and so we're retrograde free until April. And so when there's no retrogrades, really that sort of means that everything is in a positive direction. It sort of takes away all of the limitations or all the roadblocks, energetically at least. Still got to get out of your mind to doing all the things you want to do, right? And so since we're in January, this is a new year, all of the plans, right? So 2023 was who am I? What am I doing here? January 2024 is what should I be doing with that, or what would I like to do with all the things I discovered about myself? And so now this retrograde free is really the freedom to act and do all those things. That's pretty cool. Um, let's see. It is currently still Aquarius, the zodiac sign that is dominant. And alchemically, Aquarius is governed or corresponds in the body to ankles. So if you got a little bit of ankle problems, a little bit of stiff joints, uh, maybe Aquarius is helping you sort of do that, right? Uh, Physically, in a energetic sense, ankles are usually about finding stability, right? If you're going to balance standing up, your ankles are really going to be sort of the fine adjustment of keeping you that way. A lot of times it could be one ankle or the other that might be giving you issues. Left ankle is you're sort of stuck in the past. It's like if you got your foot covered up in a hole, trying to pull it out, and then right foot would sometimes correspond to finding a safe place to step into. Like if you're walking on shaky ground, if you're climbing, right, you want to make sure that your footing's good before you take the other leg up and move on. So that if you're moving into one ankle or the other, pay attention to that. That's Aquarian energy, and then of course the lower two vertebrae right here in the tailbone. So it's also still corresponding in the Aquarian age, descending that energy back up into the crown. That'll be pretty fun stuff. Let's see what else. Aquarius is ruled by Uranus, and so that's really the encouragement to with this energy and the Aquarian understanding to think bigger, to dissolve limitations, right? What's going on that you keep thinking, or your goal's too small, right? So Uranus is going to help you see that your goal should be bigger. And this is kind of like lots of I guess self-help people will tell you to aim higher so that when you miss, you get a bigger goal than you would have, right? And so when you think small and you fall short, you really get a lot of nothing. But when you think big and you fall short, you get a lot of distance towards your goal. So that's what the energy of Uranus tries to do in Aquarius. And of course, Aquarius is the water bearer, right? And so the water is really spiritual energy coming from the heavens. So that's the energy that we're baking in overall, powered with random stuff from the sun. And now we're going to move into Wednesday. Today. The energy of the stars for today is really governed by the, I guess I would call it the veil. The distance between us and other dimensions is, well, it's zero in general, but the barrier is thinner, the veil is thinner, and so today the energy of the cosmos, the stars, is really that divine beings can have more access, or you can have more access to divine beings. This could be passed on loved ones that have some wisdom to share from the other side. This can be angels, ascended masters. If you're into, since you're watching a starport, if you're into aliens or off-world beings, it could be those kinds of contacts. Not necessarily seeing UFOs or anything like that, but contact information would be the thing. Synchronicities are really how this comes up. Ideas that don't seem to be originating from yourself is how these would be in your head, in your mind, if you're not hearing auditory voices or seeing visions, either in the mind's eye or with the physical eyes. And this is energy that's really being undergirded, fueled by Mars. And so Mars is really giving us energy and drive to reinvent ourselves, right? So if the energy of this Aquarian age is to act on the things we discovered about ourselves, then Mars is like, yeah, do it. Do it. We'll do it live. And that leads us to tomorrow, Thursday. Thursday is the first day of February. It is 11 Master Day. So 11 Master Day is really going to give the energy, right? If Mars is pushing today, the energy of the numerology is going to be enabling our mastering of task schedule to happen tomorrow. And it also is a master day, which is the beginning of the first of the next 2 months, February and March, where we have no retrograde. So it's a good start to, hey, here's all of the restraints off of you. What are you going to do? And this is really where we're going to have to challenge ourselves to actually do stuff and not sort of be giving limitations of the cosmos or self-discovery as a reason not to shift or move or do or whatever. So master this new shift with a little bit of balance. It leads us into tomorrow. Speaking of balance, Friday, not Friday, tomorrow. Friday is the day after Thursday, which is 2 days from now. Friday is a 2-2, so the 2-2 gateway. It is also a master day because 22 is a master number. And so 2 is really the number of change. And so that number of change is really, hey, you got a plan, you've got the energy, you've got the gates wide open in the cosmos, you've got the spiritual energy pouring in from Aquarius, you've got energy flowing through your ankles, so you're finding your stability. So go ahead and use that energy to leap into what you're trying to do and do the change that you're trying to work on. Yeah. And it doesn't have to be monumental change. It's just the next thing, right? So if you've been operating at, low speed, then now the change could be doing the same exact thing, but at medium and feeling better about it and being more effective, right? So change doesn't have to be like, I'm Jason today, who am I tomorrow? Kind of change. It doesn't have to be that monumental, but it's definitely a shift in gears, right? If you're into cars, it's really shifting it into overdrive, could be the change, right? That you're doing. If you're going in the wrong direction, it could even be a downshift in slowing down the direction you're going in. Like, I'm going to change the direction I'm going in, but sometimes can't go all at once. You got to slow down and then turn. So pay attention to that. Leads us into Saturday. Um, do, 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 do. Yeah. So Saturday is going to be influenced by the moon, right? So the moon is getting closer and closer to new, which means it's getting darker and darker. And so that's starting to give you your sort of hidden talents, right? And so it's really um, influencing you to become clear, right? So since there's when it's a dark night, you can see the stars better, right? So if you're charting your new path when the moon gets darker, you can start to see, right? Even though there's less light, the light that is there is more evident. So that's happening on Saturday the 3rd. So just pay attention to the moon, even maybe go out at night. Um, and just sort of look for things to become evident, like all of the stuff that I've been talking about. If you have no idea, like, I don't know what I want to do, maybe Saturday the 3rd helps. Sunday, this weekend, we're halfway from winter solstice into spring equinox. So you're going to feel, yeah, you're going to feel, I was like, maybe you're not. You're going to feel the energy shift towards more light, right? So this is kind of like I would say if the energy is rising with the sun returning, then when we hit the halfway point, it's really like the sun peaks over the mountains, the sun comes above the horizon, and it's not just bright outside, but there's a beaming light towards you, right? So feel for that energy on Sunday where we're halfway to the equinox, and it's all of a sudden like, oh, it is a new day, it's a new dawn. I can do this shit. Leads us into Monday. Um, the energy should really, if there's any lasting elements or ailments that are going on in the body, if there's something that still feels unhealed, the energy of Monday should really be about that, right? Great time to be at work on a Monday, feeling in your feels, getting some healing. But sometimes it's a physical healing too, right? So, um, maybe it's a diet change, maybe it's a new exercise or a stretch that you sort of figure out how to get rid of something. Just look for a sense of something gets better physically and or spiritually in a healing sort of sense. Like all of a sudden something isn't so triggering, something isn't so sad. All of a sudden your diet changes and you don't have an upset stomach, right? Whether that's intentional or unintentional, right? So sort of mind your diet and see what you do different, right? There's that energy of change. So sometimes you'll just change your habit and you won't know why. Sort of Monday might be the energy where you sort of understand or feel that. Lead you into Tuesday. Tuesday, what that sort of healing process is really going to be undergirded or aided or expanded by the opening of heart chakra, heart energy. And that's really just, excuse me, that's really just sort of the edging towards uh, the equinox and the going towards the new moon, right? It's just the energy of the heart, right? And so heart chakra is really going to be center of the chest, right around the physical heart. But it is your strongest chakra, right? So a lot of times when it's expanding, it feels like pressure in there. When so it's like if there's a container of physical energy and then that energy gets bigger, it's going to feel expansive or pushing, right? So you're going to feel like the chest is being expanded. But the heart chakra is going to energetically expand way past the tips of your fingers if you spread out your arms. Can't see my arms. There we go. Uh, and usually 6 feet on either side of you is about the bubble when it's functioning fully, right? And so that sort of keeps a nice clear space for you to be you in. So pay attention to Tuesday feeling really some people get scared by this, but feeling maybe isolated, but just sort of solo, like that you have this big energy and it's going to be emanating from your chest. And so you might have some people comment on Tuesday that you're looking different, you're feeling well, all that kind of stuff. When our heart energy opens up, it really overshadows any of our mental BS, any of our interactive BS. So like, oh, I don't want to be at work, or I don't like this place, or this or that's bothering me. And since you did your healing on Monday, I'm this kind of physical broken, I'm that kind of physical broken. When you get to Tuesday, it's really going to be this lightning, right? Not lightning, but lightening of you, where you're just gonna, people are gonna sort of notice that you're just a different kind of radiance. Because the heart energy is none of the stuff that's physical and in our 3D reality. It's really your higher self, your soul, sort of coming through. And so all of us are moving towards oneness and come from same source. And so when we glow with that, then all of a sudden we look different or better or more than to others in our lives. So pay attention to that on Tuesday. That'll be the end of the star report and what's happening this week. Of course, I am back in the shop because that's why I'm here recording in the shop. So if you have missed me the last week being out of the shop, by all means, come by. If you want to book an appointment, I think the online booking is clear to be open. I think all the times that are open on in Bookable are actually open in Bookable. So if you want to do that, go to newdimensionscrystals.com and book a session. Just an FYI, clearing or cleansing is really sort of an alignment and getting rid of any kind of energy that might be stuck. Right, this is almost like a plumbing kind of issue, making sure that the energy is lined up and clean and the energy can flow through. Connect is really accessing your source and sort of getting upgrades to what's going on. And then integrate is really deleting thought forms that are in the way, right? So we can make all the decisions we want. We can have really big discoveries through contemplation and sessions, but we still have a mind that's in our physical form that's got data in it that is limiting to this expansiveness. And so integrate is really about deleting that stuff out of your thinking. And of course, I do breathwork. Breathwork still is, if you want to sign up for breathwork, you can bring a friend for that one-on-one breathwork that's on the website to book. And so I look forward to seeing all of you here next week. If you want to come by and see me at the shop or book in a session, by all means do that. I'm glad to be back. Glad to be on video. Glad that you stay tuned and watch me every week. Like and share with your friends. And the more people that we can have here watching this, not necessarily live or the day of, but just in this information, I think it's very helpful information to sort of guide what's happening to you energetically during the day, and then give you a little bit of a window into how you can operate as yourself, right? It's kind of like if you're going to a new school, you'd like to know where the cafeteria and everything is. I think the energy of the cosmos is, if you're going to live in this world, you got to know what the world's doing and which direction the energy is coming from. And I think that's what we do here. Until next week, everybody, many blessings.